like still loading.
All right. At least it wasn't just me. Okay. So I have the chat open. So if you guys throw something in there, I can see it. But 6.2 is about ratios and similar figures. So the goal here is for you to be able to say, I can set up a ratio of two corresponding sides in similar figures and use proportions to find a missing side. That sounds so complicated, you guys. Trust me, it's not as bad as it sounds. So similar figures are like these. Those are similar because the size is pretty much the only thing that changed. Well, is the only thing that changed. These are not similar because they don't look the same. Basically, if they look the same, but they're different sizes, that is a similar figure. Okay. So I have pictures of my little puppy. This is my first dog who's asleep right next to me. If this was the original picture, which of those would be similar? Meaning it looks the same, but it's just a different size.
B.
B, yes. That was, you guys couldn't see what I did, but yes, B is. If I go to my original notes, here's what I did. And you guys will know what I'm talking about. Oh no. Oh, here, okay. One second. Thanks for being patient. Okay, you know when you like take an image, oh no. And if you drag it this corner, it keeps it like the same. But if you grab it on this corner, it makes it look weird. When I created this image, image B, I took this corner and I dragged it. With image C, I took this piece and I dragged it down, so it stretched her out. And then on this one, I took this side and I dragged it that way, and that stretched her out also. When I grab this corner and I stretch it down, it keeps it similar. So you guys are already familiar with similar figures because I know that you guys know to take the corner and drag it if you want it to stay the same. So we're just going to look at how we basically figure out those sides. So let's look at some examples. So here we have two triangles. They look similar, meaning they look the same, but just different sizes, but we don't know for sure what those sides are. So in all of these, just assume that they are similar figures because we are in the similar figures unit, okay? So there's three things we need to find. We need to find X, we need to find Y, and we need to find Z. Can we just go in alphabetical order? Is it okay if we just do that, you guys? Like X first?
Sure. Yeah.
So when you have a letter that you're looking for, I would start by finding it in the picture. So that's where our X is. Do you notice this little tick here on this side?
Yeah.
What does that tell us?
That's X.
So this side, this is X units long. That's right. And then here's the sneaky thing. See how it matches this one? Do you remember what that means?
Both sides are equal.
Exactly. It means both sides are equal. So that means this is 4. So that one is as simple as that. It's just 4 because they match. How about Y?
Paired up with the 14.
Yeah, so this one's got 2 and this one's got 2. That was really messy. But it's 2 and 2 up here. So that means that Y must also be 14 because these match. So here Y is 14. All right, cool. We're 2/3 done. All right, so here is the piece that we have to do some work on, and that is Z. So if we look at Z, it's right here. We have to find what's called corresponding sides. Corresponding sides. So here are examples of corresponding sides. This is the right slant, and this is the right slant. Those are corresponding. This side matches up with this side, so those are corresponding. And then that means that Z is corresponding to 21. So corresponding sides would be Z 21, 4, 14, X, Y. Just so you have examples of what corresponding sides are. That's what corresponding sides are. So what we do is we want to take the set of corresponding sides we're trying to find. We need Z. So we're going to take this one and we're going to make a fraction. That's called a ratio. So do you guys want to do Z on top or 21 on top? It really does not matter.
Z on top.
Z on top? Okay. So if we put Z on top, that means 21 goes on the bottom. So then we want to pick two other corresponding sides where we have numbers for both. In this example, I would use these two because we have numbers for both of them. Like they're both labeled already. So now since Javaris said to put the Z on top, this one went on top and then this one went on bottom. That means this needs to go on top and 14 needs to go on the bottom. Okay, so we went right on top, left on bottom, right on top, left on bottom. I'm just going to pause there. What questions do you have about this? These are two ratios, just to be clear. And then you guys got a flashback to like first term. We did something called cross multiplication or cross multiply and divide. Hopefully this sounds familiar. So we would get 84. 21 times 4 is 84. And that's equal to 14Z. And we need to divide then by 14. Divide by 14 is 6. So what's cool is if we take that 4 divided by 14, so that's these two blue sides here, 4 divided by 14, and hit enter. And then if we take the 6, which is what we found Z, so if we do 6 divided by 21, we should get the same thing, which we do, so we know that we're correct. Okay. So we'll go through some more examples. You'll see the pattern very clearly, but you need to basically just choose corresponding sides where you have numbers for both and for the letter you're looking for. Okay. So this example, we have two letters, X and Y. Is it all right if we, again, just go in alphabetical order? Is that all right with you guys? So first, here's what I usually do with these. First, I mark the corresponding sides. So I'm going to mark 12. What corresponds to 12? Which side is in the same spot, but in the other triangle?
Three.
Yep. How about Y? Which side corresponds to Y?
6.
Got it. And then that means that this and this must correspond. Okay? So, first thing, pick out the two sides that correspond that have numbers for both. Which one has numbers for both? I'll help you guys with this one. I want you to tell me on the next one, okay? 12 and 3, those have numbers for both. Y is not a number. 6 is, but Y isn't. X is not a number. 4 is, but X isn't. 12 and 3, both of those are numbers. So what we can do is we can start by putting a fraction 12 over 3. And that's going to be equal to, if we're looking for X, that corresponds to 4. So we would do X over 4. So I'm going to pause right there. Do you guys understand where that stuff came from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So then we're going to cross multiply. That's 48. 3 times X is 3X. And then we're going to divide. So we get X equals 16. And again, we can always check that. 12 divided by 3, so that original fraction, this one, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Well, we just said that X is 16. So if we do 16 divided by 4 for this fraction, 16 divided by 4, we also get 4. So we know this is correct. Okay, now we got to do Y. We can start with the same thing, 12 over 3. We only have to do that once. What is the other fraction going to look like?
Y over 6.
You got it. Y over 6, because if we did right over left, we got to do right over left. So then we cross multiply. 6 times 12 is 72. 3 times Y is 3Y. Divide by 3, divide by 3. So we get 24 equals Y. You guys might notice something here. So if you notice this in your quiz, it'll save you time. Sorry. But if you take 3 times 4, you get 12. It's called a scale factor. So if you then take 6 times 4, you get 24, which is Y. And if you take 4 times 4, that's 16, which is X. So sometimes you'll notice that there's like a scale factor, or you'd be like, oh, it's double the size, or it's half the size. Just be careful that if you do that, you don't make a mistake and do it backwards. What I mean by that is the numbers in this triangle should be bigger. Because 12 is bigger than 3, that means that these will all be bigger, okay? All right. So, on this one, 8, what does that correspond to?
6.
Got it. Who can give me another set of corresponding sides? Who was that just said that? I did not recognize that voice.
Me.
That was you, Javaris?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. All right. Voice is getting deeper by the minute. So who's got another set of corresponding sides?
30 and Z.
Got it. Beautiful. Who else? What's another one?
Y and 7.
Thank you. And then 16 and X would be our last ones. So we got to find 3 sides, X, Y, and Z. Is it cool if I'm just going to go alphabetical. I'll just go alphabetical. So this is the hardest part, in my opinion. My opinion is the hardest part is finding the 2 sides that correspond to make this like initial fraction. This to me is the hardest part. Okay. So what are the two numbers we are going to use for our initial fraction?
8 and 6.
8 and 6. Those are the only ones where we have two numbers for both. So I'm just going to go 8 over 6. You could do 6 over 8, but I've been going right on top, left on bottom. Wait. Left on top, right on bottom. I'm so bad with lefts and rights. And that's going to be equal to, so what's my next fraction going to look like? If I'm solving for x.
6 over 7, 16.
6, say it one more time.
6 over 16. I mean,
Okay.
x over 16.
Yes, except I'm just going to flip that. So since I did 8 on top, that means this one has to be on top. So I'll just go 16 over x. And then that means that this will have to be on top and this will have to be on top. Ooh, hey, think about this. Never mind. I'm going to stop talking. That was a bad connection I just made in my brain. Ignore me. I'm wrong. Okay, so once we got that set up, we're going to cross multiply. 8 times x is 8x. 6 times 16, oof. 96. And divided by 8. X is 12. What you might notice is 8 times 2 is 16. So 6 times 2 is 12. There's relationships within the images as well. Okay, so we set up the same initial thing for y. 8 over 6 equals, what's that fraction going to look like for y?
Over y, oh snaps, I'll just for me. Y, 7 over y.
Careful.
Y over 7.
Yep, because if we started with this one on top, that one's got to always be on top. Since I put this on top first. So we got y over 7. And then we cross multiply. 6y equals 7 times 8 is 56. Divide by 6, divide by 6. 9.33. Repeating. You guys should have all nice numbers, so don't worry about rounding. All right. And then can you guys try z by yourself really quickly? So don't tell me your answer. I want you guys to just like on a little piece of paper, can you try to solve for z by yourself? Because we're going to take the quiz after this. This is the last example. I want everybody to try z right now. When you're done, just type done in the chat so I know kind of where everyone is at. Sorry. Forgot you don't see it. I'm going to set a timer on my phone for 2 minutes, okay? Got a 2-minute timer going. Thanks, Javaris. 40 more seconds. Keep working on this for about 40 more seconds. My timer was super quiet, but it just went off. Okay, so whatever you got for the Z value, can you type it into the chat, but don't hit enter. So whatever you found for Z, please put in the chat, but do not hit enter yet. All right, on 3, I'll have you guys hit enter. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Javaris. Did anybody else try? Thank you, Lance. All
So I just want to say that, you know, based off of the beginning here, what we just said about 6.1, doing this in class is super helpful for 1, to clarify anything, and 2, for then you can do the quiz on your own. And I don't know, I think maybe it's a little bit frustrating on both of our ends, really, because we really want you to be able to do this, and this is the perfect time to do it. Otherwise, I think a lot of times we go to the quiz and we're like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot what to do. So really, I strongly encourage you all to give it a try.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Ms. Frederick. It is a little bit frustrating because I don't know if you don't understand then, and you don't know if you don't understand. So then you just try to take the quiz, or I don't know, maybe you don't, and you just wait for us to do it together. So that's not going to be super helpful for your learning. I'll go through Z, and then I'm going to show you guys a trick after this recording so that you can watch this video, because yeah, I don't know. We'll talk more after I go through this one. So 8/6, and Lance and Javaris, I don't know yet. I got to solve it also. So we'll keep 8/6, same one. This time we're finding Z, so we'll put 30 over Z, because again, this one's got to go on top if the 8 went on top. So we cross multiply and we get 8Z equals 6 times 30 is 180. And then we need to divide by 8. Divide by 8. $22.5. I'm guessing, Lance, you might have just typed in like 179 or something goofy. So this is what we get here. So I'm going to stop recording quickly, and then I'm going to show you.